it's time to realize that an anxiety sufferer can't do anything about it. What can you do to help an anxiety sufferer? You can be patient. Be there for them. Let them know you're available to listen. Give them that space if they need it. Don't judge them. Allow them that time they require before talking, perhaps. Be the best person you can be for this person that you love. How can I help someone with anxiety? This is a question that I literally hear every single week. Suffering from anxiety can be an absolute nightmare, but what we tend to forget are the people closest to the people with anxiety. Anxiety changes the way somebody thinks and often stops them from doing things that they really want to do and like to do. And if the anxiety sufferer is in a relationship, then this can often mean that the partner also suffers as a result, and it gets frustrating because they don't understand what's going on. Now, when there's no understanding, it's difficult for your partner because they're cancelling things all the time, avoiding certain situations. They're overly sensitive, they can be needy, and this gets frustrating, and that list goes on. So when you don't understand something, you can be excused for simply being frustrated, disappointed, but the best thing for you to do to secure the relationship is to learn about the cause, which means to learn about anxiety. What is it? Why we have it? And how best to support somebody close to you who suffers from it. In this video, I'm going to do exactly that. And I hope that you share this with somebody, everybody that needs to hear this right now. Anxiety is something that every single human has built in. It's a survival mechanism that we all have inside us for times of danger. To understand this better, I want you to imagine that you have a dial in front of you. And you can imagine this dial represents the levels of anxiety from 0 all the way up to number 10. So if you're on a 0, you're suffering from no anxiety whatsoever, and if it goes up to a 10, that is the highest point of danger that you can ever experience. Next, imagine two people, David and Suzanne, a caveman and a cave woman. They live in a dangerous time without rules, without laws. One day they are preparing food in the cave, and all of a sudden a huge roar can be heard somewhere near them. Now, David and Susan anxiety levels go from a 0 all the way up to a 9 or a 10, let's say. And this causes what we know as the fight or flight system to be activated. They both experience fast heart rates, huge rushes of adrenaline, and the need for survival is now everything on their minds. They both go outside with large sticks, they confront the bear that's been attacking their area, and the bear disappears back into the distance, retreats, and goes into the bushes. Now their dials return back to a 0, and they simply return to whatever they were doing before. The bear intrusion is over. So now you can understand that anxiety is actually intended for danger. When something happens, it could be outside a large noise right now, and all of a sudden my dial might go up to a 6 or a 7. I'll go and investigate. And once I've sorted out the problem, I come back and everything goes back to normal. If we didn't have this, then things can happen all around us and we may get hurt. So this is natural emergency alarm setting that we all have inside us. We get that rush of blood and it activates all the senses in one go. It's the emergency mode in your body. All of those alarms, and we genuinely need them. Now, people who live with an anxiety issue, this is a different situation because it causes a vicious circle of exactly what I've just described, that heart rate, the palpitations, all of these things that keep you on alarm permanently are no good. And this is when you have an anxiety issue. And it causes overthinking, over-worrying. But the question is, why have we got such a big problem these days with it? And the answer is, because these days we are pretty much safe in most situations. Everything's been taken care of. So now, instead of worried about things that can hurt us, we're worried about things that can't. Irrational behaviours, things in the future, things from the past. It's more imagination now that bothers us, because when you think about people who have anxiety, it's all in their mind. We're thinking about the future and what could be, rather than just living in the now. Or maybe thinking about the past and thinking, oh, I wish I'd not done this, I wish I'd behaved differently. And therefore we live in this perpetual vicious circle of anxiety, negativity, and it builds up almost like layers in your mind, and after a while this just feels normal. But for somebody in a relationship with somebody that feels like this, it's really, really difficult to get your head around because perhaps you've never experienced anything like that. But now you realise those times that you've all of a sudden had a fast heart rate because something's happened, this is what's going on with your friend, your partner, all the time. Okay, so now you can start to understand it. People who do not suffer from anxiety can be excused for simply brushing it off as something not worth worrying about. An anxiety sufferer can expect to hear things like, just stop worrying. Why do you have to be so negative? Just relax and enjoy it, amongst a million other unhelpful things. Just like it's not a sufferer's fault to have an anxiety issue, it's not the non-sufferer's fault for not understanding and being able to empathise. So this video is to help communicate better the problems in a way that everyone can start to live in harmony. Anxiety can make people think that they are insane, and their mind is working overtime, creating false scenarios all the time instead of logical thinking. Irrational often replaces rational, and the subconscious mind literally puts you in that vicious circle every single day. Anxiety, it can cause high blood pressure, fast heart rate, sweating, headaches, stomach aches, general body aches, confusion, paranoia, sadness, stress, overthinking, overworrying, and many more symptoms. It's the same feeling you get when you're faced with that imminent danger, only it's created in the mind, often due to those negative layers that have built up. And as a result, everything from the past can bother you, and even things from the future can bother you as well. So now it's time to realise that an anxiety sufferer can't do anything about it. What can you do to help an anxiety sufferer? You can be patient. Be there for them. Let them know you're available to listen. Give them that space if they need it. Don't judge them. Allow them that time they require before talking, perhaps. Be the best person you can be for this person that you love. And of course, it can be annoying when you've made plans and your partner cancels last minute, but your partner is sad for whatever reason seems silly to you, but they're lost in their own thoughts. It can sometimes even be soul-destroying when all you want to do is help, but all you can do is feel helpless. But the point to remember is that as long as you show that you understand and that you're there for your partner or friend, depending on your situation, your patience and your right attitude, everything can work out perfectly. Nothing should be taken personally. This is just sometimes anxiety rearing its ugly head. If you have a partner or a friend who is suffering with anxiety, let them know that you are there for them right now. And whenever they need you, you're at the end of the phone. That's all they need to hear sometimes. The great news is, with my 10 years experience of helping anxiety clients, I've actually put all of my knowledge into what I call the 30-day anxiety challenge, which gives you the opportunity to get rid of all of those negative layers, completely change your life, and finally be the best version of you. So click the link below and check it out. Have a great day.